Friday night goes to the first-timers. Saturday night, well, you've seen it before. We take the white flag with the cowboy running through the modifieds. He's excited. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Let's go! Race Pro Weekly starts now. Hello and welcome to another edition of Race Pro Weekly. I'm your host, Mike Warren. We head back to the Super Dirt Series up north of the border at Autodrome Drummond, where Matt Shepard and Billy Decker were deadlocked at the top of the standings. Would one of them get an advantage after this one was all said and done? Bienvenue à l'Autodrome Drummond. That's welcome to Autodrome Drummond in French. I'm working on it. The Jersey Jet Brett Hearn would get started in this one as he would take the early race lead with Kerry Terrance following him. 98 age of Jimmy Phelps on the inside lane looking to crack the top 5 in the early going as he would go by the Franklin Flyer of Billy Decker on the inside. Meanwhile, Super Matt Shepard up towards the front of the field as Keith Flack would hop the cushion up in turn number 2 and turn it around as that would bring out the yellow. The 99 of Lightning Larry White would go to work on the 27 of Danny Johnson, moving to the inside as they battle for the number 2 spot as the Gypsum Express car number 99L trying to make something work. And now here's Matt Shepard working to the inside lane as he's going to look to take control as he goes to the inside of the 99L machine. Steve Bernard in the 54 would move to the outside of Shepard, trying to make things happen as well as these 4 cars were running together. And there's Bernard splitting the 99L of White and the 9 of Shepard for the number 3 spot as the FX Cabrera car would still try to get through. Yellow will come out for the 91 of Billy Decker as that would bunch up the field again as Decker would go off on the business end of the wrecker, which would be a big points hit. And meanwhile, Danny Johnson right there again. And here's Matt Shepard to the inside, looking to take the runner-up spot away. He would do so, battling on that inside lane as the doctor trying to make a house call on this event, but just couldn't get there as Steve Bernard and the doctor made contact going down the back straightaway as Bernard running a great race against the series regulars. Meanwhile, this is all going on and Brett Hearn is way out in front, but before a caution comes out as Mary O'Clair and Kerry Terrance get caught together on the front straightaway. And then off the restart, the race was on. Here's the 9H of Shepard on the outside, giving Brett Hearn all he could handle as they go into turn number 3 and 4. But the Jet smooth as ever as Brett Hearn wins at Autodrome Drummond. The Jersey Jet picks up a big win on the tour. Matt Shepard would finish in 2nd, Steve Bernard 3rd, Jimmy Phelps 4th, and Danny Bilodeau would finish in 5th. At the Fonda Speedway last week, it was Bobby Varon picking up his first win with a small block motor this current season. Would Stuart Friesen be able to return to form again? Hall of Fame night at the Fonda Speedway as 5 new members got inducted, including Andy Fusco, Jim King, Dave Lape, Ed and Betty Beedick, and Alton and Carol Palmer getting their plaques on the front straightaway as green flag will come out, the 51 of Scott Huber and the 1 of Darwin Green. Going to bring the field to the green, rather, as the 18 of Bodie Bellinger working on the outside lane along with the 24 of Jeremy Wilder. The 1 of Green would move to the outside lane, and Darwin looking to be your new race leader. Huber fighting back as this was a great side-by-side battle in the early portion of this event, but it would be Darwin Green ultimately winning this one as he would take the lead outright on lap number 2. The 1 of Stuart Friesen up on the move as he cracked the top 10 early. He would go underneath Alton Palmer, get into Palmer a little bit. That says Palmer up into the outside retaining wall and up and over in turn number 3 as that would bring the yellow out on the speedway. A tough break for the 76. Off of the restart, Craig Hansen would move to the inside and slide job the 1 of Darwin Green as Hansen would be your new race leader. Brian Gleason on the move on the outside lane, the BBL Company's car number 14G machine, but right behind him, here's Stuart Friesen as he would dive bomb underneath the 14G machine as Friesen up on the move. Josh Owen forced the Apollo Rocket there as well, and here comes the Dover Break car number 00 of Bobby Varon as he was by Gleason as well. Friesen goes to the inside of Darwin Green looking to take the number 2 spot away. He would grab it and set his sights on the 20 of Craig Hansen. Friesen going to the inside, trying to make it happen. He would take the race lead, but caution will come out on the speedway here shortly as Bobby Varon would also make the pass on Darwin Green, but Corey Wilder would bring the yellow out once again. Off the restart, here's the 20 of Craig Hansen going back to the front. Friesen right behind him, and it wouldn't take long before Friesen would get back by him here with just over 10 laps to go. Bobby Varon would slide underneath Craig Hansen with ease to take the number 3 spot away, and Jeremy Wilder would have trouble coming down the front stretch as he would slow. That would put Varon in the number 2 spot, and here comes Josh Hohenforce as well, trying to make his presence known up at the front. AJ Romano, Bodie Bellinger fighting for position. Here's Mark Keselowski getting by Darwin Green as well, but all behind Stuart Friesen, who does it again at the Track of Champions. Stuart Friesen picking up the win once again at Fonda. Bobby Varon was disqualified due to a post-race engine infraction. That'll move Ronnie Johnson up to spot number 2, Craig Hansen 3rd, Josh Hohenforce 4th, and AJ Romano would finish in 5th. The first and only appearance by the Empire Super Sprints would make its way into the Albany-Saratoga Speedway, and with a lot of top drivers looking to get to victory lane, who would it be? The field would make its way up on the pace lap as it would be Danny Varon on the outside, Paulie Giovanni on the inside, or Paulie C as we called them this weekend. Green flag would be out on the speedway, and the 00 of Danny Varon would take the early race lead as he would power to the outside. Parker Evans there along with Sean Donna trying to make their way up through the field, and Fireball Steve Poirier on the outside. Here's Jason Barney going to the inside of Evans as well down the back straightaway. Corey Sparks and Mike Helter Skelter going together up through turn number 1 and 2. Yellow would come out as Zach Wiegand flips, and Danny Varon with nowhere to go would bring out the caution, and that would be a tough break for Varon. Off of the restart, however, it would be the 45 of Chuck Ebing way out in front as Coley Giovanni and Corey Sparks look to follow. Stuart Friesen currently sitting in the number 4 spot as cars continue to work their way up, including Fireball Steve Poirier. Meanwhile, Parker Evans would slide to the outside. His caution would come out onto the speedway for the 3 of Denny Peebles up over the top of turn number 2. And off the restart, that'll put Stuart Friesen on the outside, and a cold chill was about to come through the Malta air as he would look to run down the 45 of Chuck Ebing for the number 1 spot. And it wouldn't be long as Ebing goes around in turn number 2. That would give the 1 of Stuart Friesen, the 1Z that is, the race lead here as time would start to run out, as Friesen doing a great job on the outside lane. The 17 machine of Chris Donnelly running hard as well up through 4th position, but it would be Ebing going around the outside of Coley Giovanni for 2nd. Steve Poirier still trying to make his way up through the field, but it would all be behind the 1Z of Stuart Friesen as he picks up the win at Albany-Saratoga. Mr. Freeze with his 2nd career Empire Super Sprint win at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway. Chuck Ebing would finish in 2nd. Paulie Coley Giovanni would finish in 3rd. Steve Poirier 4th, and Jason Barney would finish in 5th.
It's now time for this week's Recovery Sports Grill fan poll question. If you could choose any class to race in, which would it be and why? Log on to our Facebook page at facebook.com/RaceProWeekly to cast your answer and let us know what you think. Last week, we asked a simple question, dirt or asphalt? Well, it appears to be no contest. You all prefer to have the dirt in your food, drinks, hair, and eyes, rather than rubber. Coming up on Race Pro Weekly, we head to the high banks to see if anyone, and I mean anyone, can stop Brett Hearn. And we make the trip north to Merrittville. Could Mike Bowman repeat last week's performance? Find out next on Race Pro Weekly.
If you're like me, your to-do list never ends. But with just one phone call, I protect my home, family, pets, and yard all year round. With Northeast Pest Control's Premier Home Protection Program, I don't have to worry about bugs and pests. And I don't have to worry about harsh chemicals either. Now how about that want to-do list? Thanks, Northeast Pest Control.
Ants, termites, mice, or bees, call today for your free estimate.
With Northeast Pest Control, we guarantee you'll live pest-free.
Reputable, reliable, results. That's what you get when you call Rick and the professionals at RCT Roofing. Quality service at fair prices. RCT gets the job done. Just like Nick Stone and the RCT Pro Stock. RCT Roofing, we've got you covered. There's only one place in the capital region for you to get the full racing action. Stop down at the Bobco video booth at the track or call 518-399-0937. Bobco Racing Video, the next best thing to being there. Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Last week at the Lebanon Valley Speedway, Brett Hearn absolutely dominated not one but two feature events on the high banks. Would anything be able to change? We'll start you off with the small blocks as Chad Pierce would go wire to wire in the 83 machine, grabbing the win and having a great victory lane celebration. Really? Who does that anymore? Anyway, $5,000 to win for the modifieds as it would be Colby Schroeder bringing the field to the green in the Key Construction Services car number 98S. Kenny Tremont and Brett Hearn looking to make their way up through the field along with the one of Tyler Dipple back at Lebanon Valley for the first time since his injury as Hearn would go to work on the 25 at Chad Jezio for position. Here's Tyler Dipple looking to slide up in front of the 47 of Jeff Watson as he would push to the inside and look to take that spot away. And now here's Andy Bacchetti racing with Elmo Reckner for position. They're side-by-side down the back straightaway in what was a great battle. That battle was broken up, however, as here comes the Batson overhead doors. Car number 20 of Brett Hearn as he would slide into the top 5, getting by the Garrity Asphalt, reclaiming car number 34 of Andy Bacchetti, no problem, and then going to work on the 55 of Mike King and trying to run down the 87X of Paul Gilardi. It wouldn't take long as Brett Hearn continued just to pick his way up through the field like a chess game as he would be into the number 2 spot as Paul Gilardi would come down pit road as that would bring out the yellow. Off of the restart, Hearn on the inside, Schroeder on the outside. Schroeder trying to dust the top off on the cushion, but Brett Hearn goes to the inside, and with ease, he takes the race lead away as Brett Hearn well on his way to another feature event victory. Entering the 115 of Kenny Tremont, looking to crack the top 5, trying to make his way up there. He'd put the electric slide job on Matt Papello for position, but it was all behind the jet as he does it again at the Valley. Brett Hearn scores another one on the high banks. Colby Schroeder would finish in second, Kenny Tremont third, Andy Bacchetti fourth, and Brian Berger would finish in fifth. Last week at the Merrittville Speedway, Mike Bowman picked up a big victory for his first win of the season in the Winger Memorial. Would he be able to go back-to-back, or would somebody else get it done? 35-lap feature would see David Flanagan Jr. and Fast Freddie Carlton bringing the field to the green as they head up into turn number 1 and 2. Carlton would take the early race lead. Here's Tim Jones on the outside running with Brett Clark and the 3 of Billy Dunn as the machine gun on the inside lane looking to take control of the position. 3-wide battle between Flanagan Jr., Jones, and Dunn for the number 2 spot as they battle up through turn number 2, and it would be Billy Dunn that would come out with the position. Mark Delario running hard as cars together up in between turn number 3 and 4 as Scott Wood and Chad Brockman, your point leader, get together, and Brockman would have a rough night as he would finish dead last. Off of the restart, the 96 of Carlton would continue to lead this one, but here's Billy Dunn to the inside. He'd take the race lead away and look for his second win of the season. Meanwhile, Eric Rudolph now working for the number 2 spot to get by Freddie Carlton for position. He would grab that position as well, and he'd move into second. Now Mark Delario on the top side goes around the 15 of Tim Jones for position, as well as Billy Dunn way out in front with just under 20 laps to go in this feature event. Rudolph sitting in the number 2 spot, but started to develop a little bit of right rear trouble on the 19C machine as Delario and Matt Williamson running side-by-side for position. Tyler McPherson involved as well as caution will come out on the speedway for the 28 of Todd Gordon as it looks like he has a little bit of trouble in the engine. Off the restart, Dunn would take control. Rudolph trying to battle for second, but here's Tyler McPherson to the outside lane looking to take the spot away. As they come down the front stretch, it would still be Rudolph at the position, but here's McPherson on the top side grabbing the momentum, and he'd be into the runner-up position. Meanwhile, Matt Williamson side-by-side with Rudolph again off at turn number 2 as they make their way down the back straightaway as Williamson would take control of that spot. Billy Dunn happened to take evasive action as Brett Clark right in front of him. And meanwhile, here's Williamson to the inside of McPherson looking for the number 2 spot as the right rear finally went down on the 19C of Rudolph. Billy Dunn out in front as he takes the win for the second time at Merrittville. Billy Dunn would grab the win. Tyler McPherson would finish in second. Matt Williamson would finish in third. Mike Bowman would come home fourth. And Tommy Flanagan would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night, Gary Lindbergh in the Sportsman, Josh Slater in the Open Wheel Lights, Billy Bleach Jr. in the Hoosier Stocks, and Kyle Haynes in the 4 Cylinders. Throughout this season at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway, only 3 regulars have picked up a feature event victory, that being Brett Hearn, Peter Britton, and Kenny Tremont. Would it be time for an upset special? Starting you off with a little bit of heat race action as Brett Hearn would slow in his primary car, which would force him to go to the backup in the feature event and start at the rear of the field. Rich Rocca would take the early race lead in the 35-lap feature event as cars would be on the move early. The 43, the Ravina Rocket, Keith Flack, who would start midway on the field trying to make his way up, and he would be rim riding on the top side. Meanwhile, another car on the move, the Colony Logging, car number 667, Matt Depew, as he would move up into the top 3 in the early going of this event. Kenny Tremont, Matt DiLorenzo running right together as now battle for the race lead was about to brew as Matt Depew starting to run down the 4 of Rich Ronca. They get into lap traffic. Ronca on the outside. Here's Depew trying to battle back on the inside lane. Tyler Dipple also making his presence known for the number 3 spot as he would get into the 37 of Justin Barber and try to run him down. Up in front, the 667 of Depew would then power on the inside. He'd be your new race leader. Kenny Tremont looking to work his way up through the field as Jimmy Cottrell goes into the infield and spins in the number 8 machine. And now Tyler Dipple looking to take the number 2 spot. He'd get by Ronca on the outside lane and grab it away. Dipple trying to run down race leader Matt Depew, but here's Rich Ronca back on the inside. He'd take that number 2 spot back away. And then Dipple and Ronca come together, spinning Dipple up into turn number 1 and 2. That would allow Britton to get by DiLorenzo and Flack in there as well. Off of the restart, cars trying to make their final bids as Keith Flack goes back up to the outside. Here's Mark Johnson, Ronnie Johnson, and Brett Hearn running for positions. Brett Hearn trying to make it 4 wide, and he would look to split Ronnie Johnson and Don Ronca for position. As now Kenny Tremont up through the field. Brett Hearn gets shuffled back a number of positions as well as these cars running in close quarter style. Battle for the lead starting to brew. Here's Peter Britton to the inside of Matt Depew looking to take the spot away. Mark Johnson on the outside lane. Tyler Dipple gets into the quarter panel and spins the 3J out. Dipple will go to the rear of the field for his involvement in the incident. And then off the restart, one final shot for the 14B of Peter Britton. But Depew would go away as Britton loses control of it off at turn number 4. But Matt Depew grabs his first career win at Albany-Saratoga. The 667 on Matt Depew picking up the victory. Kenny Tremont would finish in second. Keith Flack third, Matty D fourth, and Peter Britton would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night, Daniel Sanchez with his first career Pro Stock victory. Rocky Warner does it again in the Sportsman. Pat Jones with a big win in the Limited Sportsman feature event. Held over Street Stock feature event from June went to Randy Miller, and Billy Dupree would grab the regularly scheduled Street Stock feature event.
When we come back, we travel to the Ridge to see if a veteran or a young gun could take the checkered flag. And we check in again at Lebanon Valley for a Pro Stock doubleheader. It's all right here on Race Pro Weekly.
Looking for outstanding service for your car, truck, or SUV? Speed's Garage is a family-run business providing the highest quality of auto care. From routine maintenance, brakes, engine, body, or paintwork, you can trust the professionals at Speed's Garage. Speed's Garage has all the auto service you need, plus full towing for any vehicle. For a championship service, go to Speed's Garage in Mellonville.
Some of the music you've heard on Race Pro Weekly this week is by A.J. Jansen, Country's Rebel Rose, bringing you a mixture of high-energy rock and sultry country roots. To hear more and for your free download, check out ajjansenmusic.com. Performance, quality, service. That's DMC Racing Products. Hundreds of name brand parts, competitive prices. That's DMC. DMC Racing Products, race to win. Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly as Justin Bowler and the 34 of Sean Pangman would lead the field to the green at the Ridge. Jeremy Wilder up on the move early as he get by Richie Price and then make contact with the 53 of Bobby Vetter as he gets by on 4th position. Al McCoy right there with Jimmy Becker in the Dover break, car number 00 of Bobby Varon looking to make his way up through the field along with Willie Decker and the 20 of Craig Hansen. Barron will push on the outside. There's last week's winner of Johnny Lutz as well. And hey, Sean Pangman way out in front of the field in that Rhodes Construction car number 34 machine. As now Richie Price and Jeff Rockefeller going at it for the number 3 spot. Here's the 0-0 of Bobby Barron looking to make a bid on the 20 of Craig Hansen as he pushed to the outside lane for position. Rockefeller right there in front of him as there's Decker in front of them as now Hansen and Barron make a little contact. Now Barron will drop to the inside trying to get by Willie Decker for the spot. As now Jeff Rockefeller up there as well. Barron will push to the outside to get by them both, then make the move around the 85 machine and the number 23 machine of Richie Price on the outside as Bobby Barron was on the move. Jeremy Wilder looking to pull into the number 2 spot as he looked to get by Justin Bowler for position, as Pangman will continue to lead this one way out in front of the field, as now Barron would get by Bowler as caution will come out for Bobby Vetter on lap 22 and the 50 of Bowler, who was down on the inside, and then the rains came and it was past halfway, so Sean Pangman grabs his first career win at the Ridge. He would be your feature event winner. Jeremy Wilder would finish in second, Bobby Barron third, Willie Decker fourth, and Jeff Rockefeller would finish in fifth. Other winners on the night, Dave Constantino would strike again 2 weeks in a row in the Sportsman. Cruisers would go to Pete Vila, and Doug Matheson would win in the Vintage Mods. Sportsman feature at the Fonda Speedway would see the 12 of Jason Grieco lead the field to the green as they headed up into turn number 1 and 2. Grieco would go around, and a number of cars trying to take evasive action, and it didn't work. Rocky Warner in there, Aaron Burton in there, Connor Cleveland slowing right behind him. As a lot of front-end damage on the 1J machine of Warner. Off of the restart, Mike Peake would look to have the advantage. Here's Ricky Quick on the outside lane of the Palmer Service Center entry, trying to make something happen, but Mike Peake very strong up front here in the early portion of this event. Cars on the move as well, as here comes the one of Mark Mortensen, last week's winner, getting by Connor Cleveland, as now Cody Blue has caught the 84 of Ricky Quick as he would move to the inside lane. Blue would be your new second place man with Adam McAuliffe in the 234 lurking right behind him. Peake would continue to lead this one now as Ricky Quick just holding on to that number 2 spot as McAuliffe trying to run down the 173. Car would slow right in front of Quick and Blue, and that would slow Quick down just a little bit, and that allows Blue to take the number 2 spot away and look to set his sights on Peake for the number 1 position, as now he would look to reel him in on the back bumper. Here's the Greg's Towing and Repair car number 173 on the outside lane, and Cody Blue would go to the race lead as he would win the drag race down the front straightaway. Peake trying to battle back on the inside, but Blue just going to be too strong as he continues to push on that outside lane, and Adam McAuliffe right there behind him, Mr. Outside as they call him out at the Fonda Speedway, looking to try to make something happen as he would move to the inside, however, this time to get by the 6 of Peake, and he'd take the number 2 spot away. Now McAuliffe going to his preferred high line as the 173 bobbles just enough. Here comes McAuliffe. He'd take the race lead away down the front straightaway, and Adam McAuliffe would go to the front. Chad Edwards and Johnny Scarborough looking to make their way up through the field, but it would be all McAuliffe in front as he grabs the win. Adam McAuliffe picks up the feature event victory. Cody Blue would finish in second. Mike Peake would hold on for third. Tim Hartman Jr. subbing in for Brian Pesolano would finish in fourth, and Chad Edwards would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night, Nick Stone would grab the win in the Pro Stocks, Dave Horning Sr. in the Street Stocks, and the Vintage Mods would go to Frank Blanchard. The Bubba Tanner Pro Stock Classic at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Always a great event from DMC Racing Products as green flag will come out onto the speedway as Ricky Duzlak would be your early race leader in the number 29 machine. He'd be out front. Here's John Ruthie. You're working to the inside of Daniel Sanchez for position as the 315 would grab that away as trouble would brew on the 29. That would let the 178 of Stephen LaRochelle inherit the lead as Victor Hopkins and Robbie Speed looking to run for position. Speed and the 315 of Ruthier would both get by Hopkins as cars continuing to push their way up through the field, including Sparky Riley in the 441 and the 8 of Jay Corbin. Also, the 7 of Rob Yetman going by the 463 of Sanchez for position. Now a challenge for the lead as here's Robbie Speed to the inside of Stephen LaRochelle. A little bit of contact, but Speed does get the race lead away, and now here's John Ruthier up on the outside lane as the 315 machine would move into second. Rob Yetman and Frank Twing looking to put on a battle as they would continue to race each other up through the midpoint of the field. As now the 24 of Speed had some company. The 315 of Ruthier right on his back bumper. They would run side by side for the last 10 laps or so. As Robbie Speed looking to keep control of this one. Here's the 315 of Ruthier. One last shot to the inside. Wouldn't be enough though. Here's Speed on the outside once again trying to hold them off as they come down, and it would be Robbie Speed still holding on by about a half a car length as John Ruthier doing whatever he could, but then Speed would beat him outright down the front straightaway as he would pick up the Bubba Tanner Classic for the third time. Feature number 2 on the evening would move out as here comes Jay Corbin, Daniel Sanchez, and Rob Yetman running for position, and John Ruthier up there as well as Chad Arsenault would have the early race lead. Chuck Towesley goes around in turn number 3, bringing out the yellow. Then off the restart, that sets up Corbin on the outside, looking to push past the 178 of Steve LaRochelle. Corbin will get by him, then contact will be made between him and Arsenault, and that allows Rob Yetman to move into the number 2 spot behind Corbin, who would now be your new race leader. Robbie Speed and Victor Hopkins running side by side as they head down the back straightaway, trying to split Daniel Sanchez. And now a battle for the lead up front as here comes Rob Yetman to the inside of Jay Corbin, looking to take control. Corbin would have the lead by about a car length down the back straightaway. Here's Yetman with a move to the inside off at turn number 4 as they brought it down the front stretch. Ruthier, your current point leader, trying to get by the 04 of Arsenal for position as Stephen LaRochelle with a great run once again, up sitting in the number 3 spot. Here comes Frank Twing to the outside of Ruthier, trying to take the spot away as he would put some speed down. But up in front, Jay Corbin continuing to hold on to this one as he would pick up the win in the second Pro Stock feature event. So Jay Corbin does it again. Rob Yetman would finish in second. Stephen LaRochelle with a great run coming home in third. Victor Hopkins fourth. And Chad Arsenault would finish fifth. At the Bubba Tanner Pro Stock Classic, we showed you earlier, Robbie Speed with his third win in the event. John Ruthier would finish in second. Rob Yetman third. Stephen LaRochelle fourth. And Victor Hopkins would finish in fifth. Other winners on the night, Chad Pierce, as you saw earlier in the show, picked up the win in the small block modifieds. John Virgilio would win the Sportsman. Pierce Stock 1 would go to Dan Cody. Pierce Stock 2 to Aaron Ficini. And Ray Hall Sr. would win Pierce Stock 3.
It's now time for this week's Berkshire County Network Driver Spotlight with Fulton Speedway late model pilot AJ Kingsley. Race Pro Weekly is brought to you by Bob Hilbert Sportswear, Racing Electronics, Emmerich Associates, Tranquil Touch Healing, New England Racing Fuels and Sunoco Fuels. Coming up, Fast Eddie sits down with a young driver who knows a thing or two about horsepower. And we'll hand out our NYSSCA Performer of the Week. Race Pro Weekly will be right back.
I'm Brian from 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is my main man, Tom, and my other main man, Tom.
You never know how much junk you've got until you move.
Point to something you wish would disappear.
Would it be possible to... It's gone!
All you have to do is point.
Where have you been all my life?
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
The Choices 301 program takes a multifaceted approach aimed at educating the public about the realities and dangers of what can happen when bad decisions are made inside a motor vehicle. Don't hesitate to designate. Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Tyler Charland this season has moved up to the Modified division after previously running the CRSA Sprint Tour. Our own Fast Eddie caught up with Tyler to see how the transition has gone.
Tyler, how long have you been racing?
Started when I was 6, ran go-karts, and we stepped into a mini sprint when I turned 11. Ran over to Whip City Speedway, and then when I was 14, right about 14, I climbed into a 270 sprint out at Paradise Speedway. And then when I turned 16, we climbed into a full-size sprint car, 305. And then just this past year, we climbed in this, so what was it now? 8, 12, 14 years.
What got you started in the sport?
Well, my father had been racing since he was mid-20s. He'd always raced street stocks and Sportsman and stuff. When I was 6, my cousins actually went out of town for a couple months, and my grandfather had some go-karts, so I, yeah, why not? Try it, jump in it, and we won the third week out, so we kind of just kept going from there.
You've run a lot of sprints. What made you decide to jump into a big block modified?
Mostly just the traveling. I mean, it's the sprint cars were all over New York State, into Pennsylvania, into Jersey, over into Massachusetts once in a while. We drive 3-4 hours every week just to get to the race and race for a night and then drive home. It just saves money traveling, and it's close to home. We got more support, and it's just all around a better situation.
You're running the spec head big block at Lebanon Valley this year. What is your impressions of the engine?
A lot of torque. It's almost too much torque to hook up at the Valley. I know Paul already ran them down at Orange County, and that's what really put us over the edge to choose that motor. Is he ran down there, and even at the heavier weight, he still ran up inside the top 10, I believe it was. So it's definitely a good motor. You could feel the power difference. Now compared to a sprint car, everything feels like a slug, but you could feel the power difference. The things got a lot of torque, they got a lot of power, so it's just trying to get it to hook up to the track is the hard part.
You mentioned your dad's involvement in your racing. How important is family?
Without family, there isn't racing. We'll put it that way. If you don't have family and the support of your family, there's no point in going to the track every week.
Now, some people may notice a horse on the side of your car. What's that all about?
That thoroughbred's Mac. He's up on our farm. He's 6 years old now. He ran up at Saratoga, and then we put him over to Boston. But we got a whole horse farm and everything. The Fire Tower Farm's on the side of the car. He's kind of the cornerstone of everything now. He's a great horse, but overall, the farm and all that, it's the huge push behind this car and really helping everything. And he's the showpiece of the farm. Everybody always looks to him first, so we had to put him on there. He's the speed demon.
Who do you have to thank for getting you here?
We got to thank Pittsfield Lawn and Tractor. They give us a little bit here and there. It's good support, mostly moral support, but they also help a little bit financially. I got to thank the Tremont family. They really helped us get together. Abe built the motor. He put it all together for us. And Greg and Crystal Catlin, I got to thank, obviously, my dad, my stepmother. Without them, we wouldn't even be here. My grandfather, Nels, and my grandmother, Sheila, they enjoy this so much, and they put so much into this. I can't thank them enough. My Uncle Randy and my Aunt Sandy are there every week helping, wrenching on the car, and they're having a ball with it, so that's great. There's so many people that have put a hand into this and helped us. It's tough to remember everybody and list everybody. Without them, we wouldn't even be here.
It's now time for this week's NYSSCA Performer of the Week, and with his first career win at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway, it goes to the Calme Logging car number 667 of Matt Depew. Matt is now eligible for the NYSSCA Performer of the Year award given out at the end of the season. That's all for this week's show. For the latest news, results, and photos, check out Race Pro Weekly online at www.raceproweekly.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So for myself, Amber Chalmers, Fast Eddie, Scott Morlock, and everyone that helps put Race Pro Weekly together, thank you for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next time.